The storm did not announce itself politely. It came like a living thing, howling across the empty highway, swallowing the world in white, erasing direction, time, and hope in a matter of minutes. The blizzard was so thick that even the road lights looked like dying stars, barely visible before vanishing into the snow. And right there, at the edge of that frozen nowhere, a single dad would make a choice that would quietly change two broken lives forever. Before the story pulls you deeper, pause for a moment. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of ordinary people doing extraordinary things, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope today, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel. Your support keeps stories like this alive. The man's name was Adam Cole. He was 38 years old, broad-shouldered but worn down by years of physical labor and sleepless nights. He lived in a small mountain town where winter ruled more than half the year and where people learned early that nature did not care about excuses. Adam worked maintenance at a closed-down ski lodge that barely survived on seasonal repairs and storage contracts. It was not the job he dreamed of when he was younger, but dreams had a way of shrinking after his wife died 5 years earlier during childbirth, leaving him alone with the son who became the center of his entire universe. That night, Adam had not planned to be on the road. He was supposed to be home, helping his 9-year-old son Noah finish a school project about weather systems, of all things. But a burst pipe at the lodge forced him out late, and by the time he locked the doors and started his old pickup, the sky had already turned into a wall of gray. He debated waiting it out, but Noah was home alone with the neighbor checking in occasionally, and Adam hated being away longer than necessary. So he drove, slow and careful, hands tight on the steering wheel, praying the heater would keep working. The blizzard worsened with every mile. Snow slammed against the windshield like gravel. The world narrowed to the small arc cleared by worn wipers, and even that disappeared in waves of white. Adam's truck crawled forward, tires crunching uncertainly over ice he could not see. He told himself to keep going, just a few more miles, just get home. That was when he saw it, or rather, he almost missed it. A dark shape lay half buried near the shoulder, barely distinguishable from the snow drifts. Adam slowed, heart pounding, eyes straining. As he passed, something reflective caught the headlights, a brief flash of metal. He braked hard, the truck sliding sideways before stopping at an awkward angle. For a moment, fear rooted him to the seat. Stopping in a blizzard was dangerous. People died doing that. But something deep inside him, something shaped by loss and responsibility, refused to let him drive on. He grabbed his coat, pulled a wool cap low over his ears, and stepped into the storm. The wind hit him like a wall. Snow burnt his face, stole his breath. He struggled forward, boots sinking into knee-deep drifts. As he got closer, the shape became clear. A motorcycle lay on its side, almost completely iced over, its wheels useless in the snow. And beside it, slumped and motionless, was a woman. She was a biker, her leather jacket stiff with ice, her helmet cracked on one side. Snow had gathered on her shoulders and eyelashes, and her breath came shallow and uneven. Adam dropped to his knees, ignoring the cold seeping instantly through his jeans. He checked for signs of life with trembling hands, relief flooding him when he felt a weak pulse. She was alive, but barely. There was no time to think. Adam struggled to lift her, surprised by how light she felt, as if the storm itself had already started claiming her. Every step back to the truck felt endless. His arms burned, lungs screamed, and the wind fought him like an enemy determined to win. But the image of Noah waiting at home, trusting his father to always come back, gave him strength he did not know he still had. He managed to get her into the passenger seat, blasting the heater on full. The woman did not wake, but her breathing steadied slightly as warmth filled the cab. Adam stripped off his gloves and rubbed her frozen hands, willing circulation back into them. He knew hypothermia well. Out here, it killed fast and without mercy. Driving again was worse. The storm had thickened, visibility dropping to almost nothing. Adam considered turning back, but the road behind was just as dangerous, and the nearest town was miles away in either direction. Cell service was gone, swallowed by mountains and weather. It was just him, a dying woman, and the storm. As he drove, Memories rose uninvited. The night his wife went into labor during a rainstorm. The panic, the rush, the feeling of helplessness as things went wrong despite everyone's best efforts. The weeks afterward when grief hollowed him out, leaving only his son's small hands holding onto him like anchors. Adam had promised himself that night that if he ever had the chance to save someone, really save them, he would not hesitate. Hours seemed to pass, though it was probably less. The woman stirred occasionally, a faint movement, a sound almost lost in the wind. Adam spoke to her, not expecting answers, telling her about his son, about the warmth waiting at home, about how she was not allowed to give up. His voice cracked more than once, emotion breaking through the calm he tried to maintain. Finally, lights appeared ahead, blurred and ghostly but unmistakably real. A ranger station sat just off the highway, a refuge for stranded travelers. Adam pulled in, nearly sobbing with relief. Inside, emergency responders moved fast, wrapping the woman in blankets, checking vitals, calling ahead to a hospital. Adam stood back, suddenly aware of how exhausted he was, how his hands shook uncontrollably now that the danger had passed. They told him he had found her just in time. Another 30 minutes in that storm, and she likely would not have survived. Adam nodded, unable to speak, a lump rising in his throat that he could not swallow. Days passed. Life returned to its fragile routine. Adam went back to work. Noah went back to school. The storm became a story people told. Another example of winter's cruelty. Adam did not expect anything more to come of it. He had done what anyone should do, what he hoped someone would do for his own child someday. Then, a week later, a letter arrived. Inside was a simple thank you note written in careful handwriting. The woman's name was Lena. She wrote about waking up in a hospital bed, confused and frightened. Then learning how close she had come to dying. She wrote about riding alone to clear her head after leaving a life that had fallen apart, about underestimating the mountain weather, about making a mistake that almost cost her everything, and she wrote about Adam, the stranger who stopped when he did not have to. Her gratitude was overwhelming, but what struck Adam most was the line where she said that knowing someone cared enough to stop had given her a reason to keep going, not just that night, but afterward too. They meet once, briefly, when Lena came through town months later to return the jacket Adam had lent her at the ranger station. She looked healthier, stronger, though something soft and sad remained in her eyes. Adam introduced her to Noah, who smiled shyly and asked endless questions about motorcycles. For a moment, standing there in the thin mountain sunlight, Adam felt something he had not felt in years. Not romance, not exactly. Just connection. Just the quiet understanding that pain did not have to isolate people forever. Life did not suddenly become perfect. Adam still struggled with bills. Lena still carried scars, both visible and hidden. But they had learned something that night in the blizzard. That even in the coldest, most hopeless moments, a single act of kindness could create warmth that lasted far longer than the storm. If this story has reached your heart even a little, please pause before the ending and leave a comment. Share what kindness means to you, or simply write one word that represents hope. Your voice matters more than you know. Years later, Adam would sometimes drive that same stretch of highway, now calm under clear skies, and think about how close the world had come to losing someone who still had so much life ahead of her. He would glance at the passenger seat and remember the weight of responsibility, the fear, and the quiet certainty that stopping had been the right choice. And somewhere else, Lena would ride again, not recklessly, but with gratitude, carrying the memory of a man who saw her not as a burden or a risk, but as a human life worth saving. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that goodness still exists even in the harshest conditions, please like the video, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps keep stories of hope alive, one voice at a time.